opera preview by the Lyric Opera of Kansas City of its upcoming production of Giacomo Puccini's opera Madama Butterfly, starting September 15th to open the Lyric Opera's second exciting season in the new Kauffman Center for the Performing Arts in Kansas City. My name's Don Dagenais. I'm one of the volunteer preview speakers for the Lyric Opera Guild, and it's my pleasure to bring you a bit of an introduction of Madame Butterfly. The opera Madama Butterfly, Madame Butterfly in English, is known as one of the great classics of the Italian repertory. It's a sentimental opera, it's very poignant, it's a powerful drama placed against the background of exotic Oriental culture, which was quite exotic at the time when Puccini wrote it in the early 1900s. The story really begins about 50 years before the writing of the opera. In about 1872, and imagine for a second that you're a dock worker in the Tokyo harbor, and you're working at a rather small harbor replete with small fishing boats, and you raise your eyes to the horizon and you see approaching this incredible sight, a series of huge ships, the likes of which have never before been seen, massive billowing sails, huge cannons, great artillery. This is the United States Navy, led by Commodore Perry, who has come to open Japan for trade to the West. And as he and other European powers later did so, they dragged Japan kicking and screaming from the medieval era into the then modern world. And this clash of cultures between Western and Orient that occurred in the 1850s and 1860s in Japan led to many opportunities, but also much great tragedy. And one of the tragic stories that originated from that time, according to Japanese history, is that there was a Scottish businessman in Nagasaki who had a Scottish wife, but also a Japanese mistress. His mistress gave birth to a very Caucasian-looking child, obviously the product of this liaison. The Scottish wife, who was childless, attempted to take the child, and the mistress was so distraught that she attempted suicide. Well, this story, and maybe some others like it, led to a short story that was published in the 1880s, and then to a play by the then great American playwright David Belasco. Now, David Belasco's play was playing in London in the early 1900s when Puccini was there celebrating a production of his recent opera La Bohème. He went to the theater, saw the play, and even though Puccini spoke no English, and the play was in English, he was completely taken by one scene of the play, and that's the scene where the young geisha bride, Madama Butterfly, is waiting all night long for the return of the American naval officer, Lieutenant Pinkerton, who has abandoned her. And she sits and she waits, and with marvelous lighting effects and a starry sky and a moon that traveled across the stage and the shortening and lengthening of shadows showing the setting of the moon and then the rising of the sun the next morning, the stage conveyed the image of this lonely figure waiting and waiting for her lover to return. Well, Puccini was completely taken by this scene, and it was probably at that moment that he decided to compose as his next opera, Madame Butterfly. A couple of years later, when he actually set pen to paper to write the music, that was the very first music he composed, and he wanted to do something unique and special with that scene. So he wrote a unique and special piece of music, which we now call the humming chorus, in which an offstage chorus, using no words but only humming, has this beautiful melody, this very poignant piece of music, which conveys the image of Madame Butterfly waiting and waiting for her lover to return. The score also has lots of other interesting music to it. Puccini put a lot of Japanese flavor to it, but the two other main beautiful pieces of music in the score are a wonderful love duet that ends Act 1 between Madame Butterfly and her Lieutenant Pinkerton, the American naval officer, which is one of the longest and most glorious that Puccini ever wrote. And then in the second act, a wonderful aria she sings when other people have been telling her, you know, your lover's not going to return. He's not coming back. You should stop waiting for him. And she says no. She says, one fine day, un bel dì in Italian, one fine day he will return. And this soaring melody is one of the glories of Italian opera. So, Madame Butterfly, we might think the story is rather outdated. Why would it continue to interest us more than 100 years after it's written? You can talk about the music, which is glorious, and the Oriental color, which is lots of fun. But I think what really draws us back to this story is the character of Madame Butterfly herself. She's a strong-willed character, much like the character that we probably wish we were. She appears as almost an Oriental doll in the first scene, but we see her grow into a mature woman who can handle a situation. Then when she's abandoned She sticks it through with perseverance and courage, which gains our admiration. And at the end of the opera, when she has to face the ultimate tragedy, she has only one choice under her culture as to what to do. And she does it with courage and with conviction and with a bravado which we can do nothing but admire. So if you want to see how she does it, I hope that you join me in the audience as the lyric opera produces Madame Butterfly starting September 15th.